He's CBS Sports College Hoops reporter, managing editor of college basketball for The Athletic. Seth Davis joining us on the program. Let me start with the obvious question. Who told you guys that you could dance?
That we could dance or could dance well. Those are two different things. Everybody can dance. So
I'll give you credit for effort there, Seth.
That's all I'm asking for. Truly, that's all I'm asking for.
Where was the music? Because that made it even more awkward.
Well, I don't know. You may have seen there was a version on Twitter that didn't have music, but when it was on the air, we did have music. So I'll send you that one. It was pretty.
Oh,
good.
No. I'm good. You don't have to send it to me.
You're good. You're good. Look,
I've seen enough.
I only have one piece of advice for people. If you're ever going to dance on national television and you're worried about how you look while you're dancing, just do it near Wally Serbiak. You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Worst loss.
We're a little punchy after 1,000 hours in the studio. You've been there, son.
Yes, I have. Worst loss of the weekend.
Oh, I think it's Rutgers. They had that game in hand, and the missed shots down the stretch, missed free throws. Gosh, there are a lot of them. I mean, what Oral Roberts was able to do, I guess maybe you'd have to say Ohio State as well, the way that they lost it. Ohio State played about as poorly as you can play and still had a shot at the end to send it into another overtime. And, Ohio State's season was just unbelievable. I mean, I think of all teams in college basketball, they probably maximized their potential as well as anybody. And so for them to lose a game where they don't play well, I'm crushed for kids. It's like the pain of the tournament. And how about Texas not only losing the way that they did, and everything that Shaka Smart has been through, being on the hot seat all the time. He still hasn't won a first round game. We had a shot of Shaka. I don't even know if this aired, Dan, but it was after the game, and he was in the hallway. It felt like it was outside the locker room or the meeting room, wherever they were, and he was just standing there, just trying to process everything. And he kind of knelt down and closed his eyes as if he was gathering his thoughts to go talk to his team. I mean, we think about the upsets and the incredible Cinderellas, but there's a flip side to that coin, man, and that pain runs very, very deep.
Is Shaka Smart safe at Texas?
Oh yeah. They had again. I mean, I would hope, and maybe I'm a little Pollyanna, so people understand the capricious nature of the NCAA tournament. I mean, this thing is nuts. I mean, I'm so glad I don't have to get on national television and pick these games because, if you did, you'd probably look foolish all the time.
Illinois, that's a big loss too. A lot of people had Illinois. If you didn't have Gonzaga or Baylor, you probably had Illinois as maybe the team to win it all. What happened?
Loyola happened. Over the last, I'd say 3.5 weeks of the season, nobody was better than Illinois. Remember, they went into Michigan. Yep. They beat Michigan by 23 points at Michigan without Ayo Dosunmu. And that was the first time I thought, wow, this team really has championship mettle. But, to me, the fun of sports, and especially the NCAA tournament, Dan, is when you see the contrast in styles. And that's a big reason why upsets happen, because a team like Illinois, they're capable of beating in a half-court game, but they want to get out and go. But, one of my rules of thumb is if one team wants to run and the other team wants to walk, the game's going to be a slow pace, because it's much easier to take a team that wants to run and slow a game down and muck it up, as opposed to speeding up a team like Loyola that is used to playing a certain style, doesn't turn the ball over. So you got to beat Loyola their way. I mean, I like them to make the Final Four for that reason.
Now, Porter Moser turned down jobs the last time around. St. John's, I believe, but you got openings here: Indiana, Marquette, Utah, Minnesota. Porter Moser going to stay at Loyola?
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard this time around. He came very, very close to taking the St. John's last time job before it went to Mike Anderson. He told me a story about how, he went to St. John's and he got on the plane to get back to Chicago and thought he was going to take the job. And he was still deciding. So he took out a pen and paper and he wrote out 2 statements to the Loyola fan base. One saying, "I'm going," one saying, "I'm staying," and then which one feels better. And he thought that the one that he was staying felt better. So that's why he stayed. But this time around, you got in, between Indiana and Minnesota. Marquette is another landing place for him, another private school in the Midwest. It's going to be very hard. And plus, he's losing Cameron Krutwig and Lucas Williamson, his two best players as seniors. So I think this time around he jumps, but stranger things have happened. We said that about Mark Few for a long, long time.
Well, we had Brad Stevens over the weekend. Apparently, somebody reported that he was leaving. He was going to take the Indiana job. And I went, he's coaching the Boston Celtics. He's not coaching the Orlando Magic or Sacramento. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no. Brad Stevens is not taking. First of all, he'd have to leave the team now.
Yeah, I know.
He's not going to leave. I mean, you want to count the number of reasons why Brad Stevens? I don't know. My pal Mark Titus was kind of egging this on Twitter, and I think he was having fun with it. I don't think he was serious. So I don't know who actually quote unquote reported that, but obviously nobody who had any real information. Now, will Brad shock the world? It's always possible, but I don't think it's possible.
We have a bet. I'm the only one who said the following. Rick Pitino does not take another job in his coaching career. Seth, I'm going to have you on record. Do you want to go with the Danettes or you want to go with me?
Well, I don't know who did. I'll tell you what I think. I don't know who said what. But
all of my guys said that Pitino is going to take another job.
You're right. As usual, you are correct. I think Rick would have never left Louisville if that hadn't happened. You know what? If anybody wants to hire Rick, they're going to have to take their university and physically move it to Winged Foot, because that's Rick's happy place. Okay, he's got a house on the golf course. He's got a membership at the club, and he's 68 years old. And he's gonna. Iona is perfect for him. He's gonna blow that thing up because we're about to have roster-geddon with transfers being allowed to change schools without sitting out for a year. So when you talk about the MAC, there's 3 or 4 good programs in that league, and everything else is a fall off. So he could make that kind of an East Coast version of Gonzaga, because he'll have. If you give Rick Pitino just a little bit of a talent differential over the rest of the league, obviously he's going to blow it up. Look what he did this year with it. They were off for 68 days because of COVID, Dan, combined, and he still got them to the tournament.
I said this last week to the Danettes. I think Pitino is one of the top 5 coaches in America. I just think that he understands the game. He can beat you with your team. He can beat you with his team. He just has innate ability to be able to do that. I'm not saying he's the coach for every university or for every fan base, but Pitino can coach. We're talking to Seth Davis, CBS Sports college hoops reporter. Let the audience know what to expect today, since we do have basketball coming up in about 3 hours from now.
Yes, we do. Well, to me, the game of the day, 7:10 CBS, LSU and Michigan. First of all, the Big Ten has not showed out. I'm not a big conference guy when it comes to the tournament, but I know it's obviously a big part of the dialogue. LSU is a really tough matchup for Michigan, because I do think that LSU has found another gear. They're long, they're fast, they're athletic, and they're committed to defending. And of course, Michigan is without their second leading scorer now, Isaiah Livers, who is not only a really good scorer, 3-point shooter, he's one of their best defenders, he and Franz Wagner. So, LSU's got 3 big time scores in that one. And listen, everybody's on notice. I mean, Oregon, Iowa. Oregon's obviously, tough to get a read on them because they didn't play a first round game. They've been up and down because of pauses and injuries, but they are at full strength and they can score the ball. And that's what Iowa likes to do as well. And then, the nightcap is going to be interesting to me, USC and Kansas. USC's had a terrific year. They've got Evan Mobley, but, a lot of people go poor betting against Bill Self in the NCAA tournament. So I like the Jayhawks in that one.
It's great to talk to you. By the way, that whole FBI probe a couple of years ago that was going to blow up college basketball, that didn't blow up college basketball. What exactly happened or didn't happen where LSU and Arizona and Kansas, and it just kind of went away?
Do you remember having me on when I wrote that tweet that I got shredded for? So it's parallel tracks. First of all, the FBI track, where you had prosecutors in New York and FBI folks listening to low-level scam artists trying to, make a fast buck here and there, saying, oh, I got this guy, I got that guy, I got Self, I'm talking to Miller. And they thought they were telling the truth. So they thought, hey, let's move in on this guy. And he's going to flip on the guy he's talking to. And guess what? He was full of it. The separate track is the NCAA, which now has fresh evidence to uncover. And it takes a while because, they were not allowed to start investigating these cases until all of the legal stuff was done.
Okay.
They told them, hey, you can't do anything. So they have to go back and re-interview. They can use the evidence from the trial. Then they have to go back and re-interview everybody. And this stuff takes a while. Then you have the pandemic pushing everything back. So within the next year to year and a half, we're going to see these decisions come down. But if you notice, Dan, they're going to, aside from Will Wade is the only one who's like directly implicated potentially. Everything else, like Arizona, Sean Miller, this is head coach control. This is the NCAA saying, well, you didn't do any of this, or we didn't catch you doing any of this stuff, but you are responsible for what happened. So that's how they're going to penalize these things. And the last thing I'll say about it is the most interesting one is the Kansas case, because it's one thing for Sean Miller to say your two assistants broke these rules and therefore you're responsible. In the Kansas case, it's like this guy from the sneaker company that you have a contract with did all this stuff and you are responsible because he is technically classified as a booster. That's never been done before. So eventually it'll all wrangle out. But this whole thing about, all these head coaches are on the line saying, I'll pay him this amount of money. That's not where the action is. The action is in agents and in this kind of underworld, and the head coaches, for better or ill, and there's a lot of both, is they're kind of see no evil, hear no evil. They know what's going on. They don't care. They just want the player.
Who's in the most trouble?
Will Wade, because he's on now. Again, it's like
now he's LSU's head coach.
Yeah, LSU's head coach. I mean, he's on the line saying I made him a strong ass offer, right? And everyone's saying, well, we all know what that means. But I always go back to Tom Cruise's line in A Few Good Men. Don't tell me what I know. Tell me what I can prove. So when Curtis Townsend of Kansas says about Zion Williamson, says, well, we'll do whatever we got to do to get here. Oh, I know what that means. Well, what can you prove that he did? So it's a much higher bar. Look, all these guys. And you know what's a shame, frankly, is that Pitino is the only one who lost his job, and was never implicated. It was because of everything else that had gone on at Louisville. So
it's all shady. It's all
shady. It is. It's a shady world, and you're either in it. If you're going to be a college basketball coach, you are in this world, and there's mud flying around everywhere, and it's going to get stuck on you. That's what it is. Thank God for the games.
Have fun today. Thank you, Seth, and keep dancing, okay? Keep dancing.
Dan, I love you. Dan, I love you.
Thank you, buddy. That's Seth Davis, CBS Sports college hoop analyst, and he's also managing editor of college basketball for The Athletic and a part-time dancer.